Don't let appearances fool you. The nose is actually a sophisticated biological engine that evolved for survival and shaping destiny. Here are the 7 genetic codes possessed by geniuses. See what you might have inherited. 1. The Roman nose, the Aquiline, the symbol of power and stamina. If your nasal bridge curves slightly downward like an eagle's beak, you possess a natural aerodynamic shield. This is the identifying characteristic of great conquerors like quote-unquote Julius Caesar, who reshaped the ancient world map. Biologically, this rugged bone structure acts as a, quote, structural shock absorber, distributing physical impact forces better than any other nose shape. Inside this nose is an engineering marvel that creates, quote, turbulent flow, forcing air to swirl to filter out dust and bacteria before reaching the lungs. That is why, for thousands of years, from ancient coins to monuments, humanity has been programmed to link this nose shape with high, quote, testosterone and leadership ability. If you are among the 9% of the population who possess this trait, you carry a legacy of dominance and frontline survival. 2. The Greek nose, the Greek, the standard of the golden ratio and logical thinking. Considered the, quote, unicorn of physiognomy, this nose shape is perfectly straight from the forehead to the tip, lacking any bumps or breaks. This is the ideal shape ancient sculptors assigned to gods and brilliant philosophers like Aristotle, symbolizing intellectual perfection. Unlike the Roman nose, which creates a vortex, the Greek nose generates what engineers call laminar flow, where air moves parallel and smoothly. This mechanism helps optimize oxygen flow to the brain without irritating the mucous membranes, supporting high concentration and stability in thought. However, finding a truly standard Greek nose in real life is extremely rare, accounting for only about 3% to 5% of the global population. If you possess it, your face is adhering to the strict geometric rules that the human brain defaults to as the peak of beauty. 3. The Nubian and wide nose, the temperature regulation engine. This feature is often seen in the majestic statues of powerful pharaohs, like Ramses II, with proudly flared nostrils. According to the biological law known as Thompson's rule, the width of the nose is directly proportional to the temperature and humidity of your ancestors' environment. While others struggle to dissipate heat, the wide nose acts like a, quote, high-capacity exhaust system, instantly cooling the blood flowing to the brain. This creates extraordinary endurance for thinkers and leaders operating under high pressure or in extreme climates. Don't confuse width with crudeness, because in physiognomy, this is a sign of, quote, emotional intelligence and generosity, willing to command space. This is the face of resilience, where breath circulates freely without any obstructing frictional forces. 4. The bulbous and fleshy nose, the repository of creativity and persistence. You might be surprised to learn that history's greatest physics genius, Albert Einstein, possessed a fleshy nose with a rounded tip. Even the great philosopher Socrates was famous for his large, crude nose tip, which housed a wisdom far ahead of its time. The thick flesh at the nose tip isn't excess fat. It's a dense network of capillaries acting as a thermal blanket, protecting the airways. This structure creates a warm air mixing chamber, helping to warm frigid air before it hits the lungs, an excellent adaptation for harsh climates. Socially, this nose softens facial contours, making its owner appear grounded, trustworthy, and deeply compassionate. Statistics show this nose shape appears with surprising frequency among successful politicians and CEOs, people who require the resilience of a biological tank. 5. The upturned and button nose, the celestial, the signal of protection and refinement. This is the nose shape that the genius composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was often depicted with in his youthful portraits, exuding intelligence and quick wit. Owned by about 14% of the population, this small nose is the Goldilocks of evolution, perfectly adapted to mild, temperate climates. The slight upturn of the nose creates a unique airflow that helps prevent airborne bacteria from settling, keeping the nasal cavity clean. But its strongest weapon is psychological, as it triggers the trait of neoteny, or the retention of youthful features on the face. It tricks the observer's brain, activating the instinct to protect and trust, allowing the owner to easily win people over with calculating innocence. Without needing the assertiveness of the Roman nose, this nose conquers the world through softness and natural diplomacy. 6. The asymmetrical or bumpy nose, the broken asymmetrical, the mark of resilience. If your nose doesn't fall into any of the above categories, or is crooked due to an accident, remember the artistic genius Michelangelo. He lived his entire life with a broken nose sustained in a fight, but that very imperfection was coupled with an artistic vision that changed humanity. In nature and genetics, asymmetry is sometimes a sign of intense struggle and adaptation to the environment. Many people have a blend of nose types, such as a Roman bridge but a bulbous tip, indicating the diverse genetic intersection of their ancestors. Don't try to force yourself into a stereotype, because the uniqueness of your bone structure is the most vibrant genetic map. If you want to uncover more astonishing truths that others are too afraid to touch, hit that subscribe button now. And if you've already subscribed, welcome home.